Hi, Savannah. We'll get started here in just a few. Thanks for your patience. We'll get started in about 2 minutes. Thanks for your patience. Good afternoon, evening, everybody. Thanks for joining in today. We'll go ahead and get started here in just a moment. So I would like to welcome each of you to the Physical Science Lecture, section IS1. I'm Dr. Zenon, and I will be your instructor for this semester. So my goal for this evening is to get you acclimated, get you started, so that you know how we function for the remainder of the semester. I hope you don't mind. I'm sipping a cup of coffee, and you should feel comfortable to sip whatever it is you're sipping as well. If I could ask, if you have the capability, if you wouldn't mind, just for our introductory period tonight, to turn on your cameras. I like to do that at the start of class. That helps me to start to put faces with names, and also it helps me to actually know that, at least at the start of the class, that you are paying attention. So if you have the capability, turn your camera on for me, please. Thank you, Savannah. Thank you, Haley. Thank you, Michael. Damien, if you have the capability, please turn on your camera. Damien, if you cannot turn on your camera, please at least put in the chat room so that I know what is your status. Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and get this show on the road tonight. So as I said, I'm Dr. Zenon, and this is the physical science lecture. This is labeled as a section IS1, which means independent study. It is just a designation that the college cares about. You don't have to worry about that. The important thing is that this is an online class that has meetings every Tuesday, 5:30 to 8:15, unless otherwise specified. Okay. So if you want to turn your camera off now, feel free, because I'm going to go into share screen mode. All right. So could somebody kindly just unmute or put in unmute and let me know if you see the course homepage that I have up?
You can see it.
Great, great. Thank you very much for that, Haley. So I kind of just wanted to give a little bit of a background on myself, so you know something about me. If you want to read a little bit more extensive bio, you have access to one right from the homepage of the course. But just so you know, I teach physics and physical science lectures and labs. I teach primarily online. I have taught face-to-face before, but since the pandemic, I've been fully online. And it looks like, I'll pretty much be maintaining that status. I've been at River Parishes now for about getting close to 12 years now, if I'm not mistaken. Prior to teaching at River Parishes, I taught at Baton Rouge Community College. And I've also taught at a college in Georgia for about a year and a half. My bachelor's and my master's degree are both in physics, which is relevant for this class, but my PhD is in science, math, education, which is also relevant for this class, right? Because you not only need a content expert, you need someone who is, has a strong foundation in the actual art of teaching, which is, what I also have the capability of dealing with. I live in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Some of you might be familiar with the area. I'm not sure where you're logging in from. But in case you don't know, I'm just on the other side of the west bank of the Mississippi River, almost across from Gonzales, if you will, where the main campus is located. And so I'll say welcome. I'm glad you decided to be spending your Tuesday evenings with me. And hopefully we can work together and do justice to the material that we have to get through. So I want to start that whole process off. If there's somebody in the audience who feels comfortable enough and wants to unmic and just say hi, surely you can definitely do that. I try not to put folk on the spot too much, but you know, you're definitely free to do that. All right, but you do have the opportunity to introduce yourselves this week in a discussion forum if you don't want to, you know, be on mic here tonight. Make sure that you complete that discussion forum and introduce yourself to your classmates. And we'll take a look at that to make sure everybody's on the same page in terms of what you need to be getting done this week. Okay. So when you log into the course homepage, you run right into this big thing, QM, right on the front. And I'm sure some of you saw that and go like, what is that all about, right? Well, it just means that this course has been certified by this organization called Quality Matters. And what they do is to set standards for what online course design should look like. So I built this course and then I let them come and review it. And they decided that it was put together well enough that it deserved to have the QM certification. So hopefully that makes you feel like you're walking into a quality course. And hopefully I can deliver the way that also helps you to feel that you're getting a quality product here. Okay, so once you're on the home page, you'll notice some key things. One being the big "Start Here" caption. That is directive to you so that you know exactly what to do to get started with this course. So you start here and basically you see the information on how to join class, which all of you found. You see my contact information, email and phone number. You see my virtual office hours because I teach totally online. I only have virtual office hours and you see listed the times for each day. Just before this class starts, I have virtual office hours from 3:30 to 5:30. So if you're ever wanting to catch me just before class, you can join in that virtual office hours link there. It says virtual group tutoring, which means there could be more than one student in that session. Typically, that's not the case, but you know, that's where I like to help larger groups of students to work through the content materials. If you have something of a more personal nature that you would like to discuss, I suggest picking one of the 9 to 11 a.m. sessions. And I've got to fix that on the home page there. It should be 9 to 11 on Tuesday mornings. And then you can always reach out to me by email and set up a time if that doesn't work for you. Now, you do need to be aware that the link that you use to join class is different from the link that you use to join office hours, okay? So just be mindful of that. And then if you click on this connection details, it explains to you, you'll come to a page that talks about my schedule there again, and I've got to go fix that, 9 to 11 on Tuesdays. And then it just explains some things for Zoom and in the event you're having some questions about it, okay? And then it specifically guides you to the information that explains the login page that you need to use. Some students are attending more than one college. So I've had students that might be taking a course at, Nunez or BRCC, and all of the colleges in our system utilize Canvas. But in order to access the materials and information for this course, you must log in through the RPCC Canvas page. And there I've put the link. The way that you know that you're using RPCC is that right in the front of the web address says rpcc.instructure.com. That means you're using RPCC's Canvas, okay? So just be aware of that. If you log in to this course through another college's Canvas page, items on the left menu are not going to work. There'll be some of them that you won't be able to utilize. So just be aware of that. And when you wanted to do stuff for this class, log in through RPCC Canvas. Below that information is an explanation of the items that you see on the left menu, okay? So I've provided a description of each of the items that you have access to on the left menu, all right? So for example, you see here that the course documents are the administrative tools for this course. You see that the useful links are academic tools for this course. Weekly overviews, that's where you find the weekly breakdown of course materials and assignments, and then so on and so forth, right? So your goal for this week is to acclimate yourself to this course, get comfortable with the resources and information that I provided you, review the syllabus. You see, it tells you your first task is to review all of the items on the left side menu, especially the syllabus, the weekly overviews, and the course documents, okay? Those are like some of the primary things that will help you to function in this class. Of course, you need to review all of them, but those you need to pay particular attention to. And it tells you, once you have familiarized yourself with these items, the left menu, you've clicked and you've looked around, you're comfortable with it, then you need to click on the weekly overviews and complete week 1. And I also put the information that if you're in lecture and lab, the week 1 introductions are the same, but you have to do the assignments for both classes, okay? The introduction process that I utilize is the same in my lecture and my lab, but if you are in both classes, you have to complete them for both classes, okay? On the right side of the page, if you notice, has a link to the course calendar. Mine might look a little bit different from yours, but basically the idea is it's a to-do list, and it tells you the assignments that you have currently due and what you might have coming up. You can click on the calendar and it'll show you all of the assignment due dates for the remainder of the semester. Now, let me just caution you. A lot of students, when they log into the course, the first thing they do is they click the to-do list items on the left. And then they'll email me and say, well, where do I find all the notes and stuff for this? Well, the to-do list is just a reminder. The assignment materials and resources are in the weekly overviews, as is explained in this information covering the left menu, okay? So if you're looking for assignments and notes and all of those things, the weekly overviews are where you need to be, okay? Anytime you want to return to the home page, just click the home link in the upper left. And then below, the just sharing is just some, as we like to say in Louisiana, lagniappe, some news, science news things that I share. You're not mandated to use those or know those, just a little extra. And then, as I mentioned, if you want to know a little bit more about me, you are definitely free to take a look at my bio. One other important thing is that you can email me at any time, and I try my best to reply the same day typically it doesn't take me more than a couple of hours at best because I'm always checking email. But if you don't hear from me in 24 hours, it means I didn't get your mail. So you don't have to email me and say, hey, I sent you this. I didn't hear from you. Did you get it? If you don't hear from me in 24 hours, I didn't get it and you need to resend it. Okay. So let me just stop the share just for a moment. Are there any questions on anything I've covered so far? Okay. So I will jump back in the share. Just like I can't see your faces while I'm in the share. So that's why, and I can't see the chat either while I'm in the share. So periodically I might stop the share to kind of gauge what, you know, the climate of the audience, if you will. Okay. All right. So there are announcements that I've already made available to you. So this is a video telling you how to get started, which I'm kind of doing right now as well. A link to the full textbook. I provided a breakdown of the textbook by chapters, and I'll show you here shortly what I mean by that. But if you want to have access to the full textbook, there's a link to it in the announcements. Of course, my welcome message is there. And then periodically, some items will open up and be released throughout the course that you'll have access to. I do want to bring to your attention, give me just one moment, please, if you don't mind. Sorry about that. Of course, that's how it goes. Sometimes when you're trying to get something done, that's when things want to go wrong. So I apologize for the interruption. All right, so as I was saying, I want to bring to your attention that I have to submit an enrollment report here in the next few days. They've given us a deadline, I believe, of September 1st, if I'm not mistaken. But the key to that report is that you have to complete the week one assignment. So it used to be if you logged into Canvas or you attended the first online session, you were counted as present and you had no issue with that report. You know, there was no danger of you getting dropped. But the policy has changed and you have to complete an assignment in the first several days of the course in order to be given credit for attending and not dropped. So please make every effort to complete the week one assignments by the deadline. That way, when I have to submit this report, you are given credit for being active in the course. It's not enough to just be present. You have to be active. Okay. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. And that announcement did go out on the first day of class, but you know, not everybody's paying attention on the first day of class, right? Okay. And then there are some videos that I've made available for each week's material. Okay. So like the first topic area that we're going to get in, you know, physical science stuff deals with the nature of science and measurement. And we're going to start that next week. So I made the video available this week so that you could begin to take a look at it. And then, you know, as we move through the course, other announcements will become available to you. If I have to post something immediate, I will do so in the announcements. Okay. If I have to make any changes, I always make that information available in the announcement. All right. Taking a look at the next item on the list about this course. So as I mentioned to you, this is a fully online course with virtual meetings through Zoom every Tuesday, 5:30 to 8:15, according to the course schedule. And we'll see that in just a moment. Obviously, we're using Canvas, and I just give some information on some of the tools that I might be using. The structure of the course is broken down into units or, you know, weeks. Okay, and then as you see here, the expectation is that you will keep up. You will read and review the materials as required. You will log into Canvas as appropriate. I do not, I don't take an official attendance in this class because we're online. I do screenshot at the start of class, periodically through the middle, and then at the end to see who is actually attending. But I don't give points for attending, and I don't take points away if you don't attend. These lectures are being recorded, and I will make the recording available to you in the announcements. After the recording finishes, I typically need to have about a day or so to get it captioned, and then I will make that video available. So if you know, when you come to the announcements, I'll create a heading that says class videos, class meeting videos, and I will give access in the announcements to the recordings for each class. I get it that, you know, sometimes you don't want to be on camera in terms of recording, but as long as you have your name, your official name, you know, not some screen name that you like to use, as long as you have that listed so that I know, you know, I'm getting a feel for who's available and who's here, then we're doing just fine. Okay. Any questions on anything I've covered so far? All right. The syllabus is available. You click on the syllabus link there. You have it in PDF and Word formatting. If you require a syllabus that meets accessibility standards, I would suggest you use the Word version. A lot of the information that I'm covering tonight is found in the syllabus, but that'll be the last thing we do. We'll take a quick peek at the syllabus so that you can see what material is included there. Again, the goal for this week is for you to do your own investigation, right? So after I'm done with the coverage for tonight and answering any questions that you might have, then you need to go and do your own review of the course materials and content. And then next week, we'll hit the ground running with our first physical science content. So I'm not lecturing physical science. What I'm trying to do is create a climate where you can feel comfortable that you know how this class functions. And so you know what the expectation is, okay? You see also available, here's the course schedule. It tells you we meet every Tuesday, 5 8:30 to 8:15, unless otherwise specified. This is a Tuesday class, and there will be a session or two because of the way the calendar is structured that we won't actually meet, but we're going to be just fine. I will always prompt you ahead to let you know about those kinds of things. And then the other thing is that just below the course schedule is a course summary. Again, there is another kind of to-do list for the entire semester. So it's like a calendar for the entire semester showing all of the assignments. Yes, they are clickable, but my suggestion to you is to not use the clicks, clickable items here. Use that as a reminder or a view of the entire course. Just like I don't advocate clicking on the items from the course calendar or the to-do list on the right side of the menu, I highly recommend that you complete assignments utilizing the weekly overviews. Okay, that's going to give you a much more inclusive picture of the material and the assignments that you need to complete for the course. And we'll take a look at that just a moment. Okay. Course documents. As I explained, course documents are the administrative materials for the course. So information on the textbook. See, there's no cost for the textbook. I'm using what's called an openly licensed textbook, meaning it's free. And then there's information on honor lock proctoring. I do utilize proctoring for this course. And there is a fee associated with that. That's why I make this information available to you. You need the Google Chrome extension to use honor lock. Honor lock is only you can only access honor lock through Chrome, Google Chrome browser. It doesn't work with the Edge browser or the Safari browser. You must be using Chrome. I know that's an inconvenience in many instances, but it's what the school has made available to us for proctoring. There's a fee, and since you will only be taking 2 exams for this course, a midterm and a final, that is $27. I suggest to you that when you go and register with honor lock and pay the fee, that you go ahead and pay the $27 so you pay for both exams. Okay. And then there's more information on how you utilize honor lock for proctoring and how you reach support if you're having any issues. And then I put a frequently asked questions guide there for you as well. Now, I know that in many of your courses that you utilize Dropbox to submit your homework assignments. I'm a little bit different. My assignments are not uploaded on Canvas. You send me the assignments for this class and items for this class via email, except for the exam. That you will do through honor lock, and the discussions are completed on Canvas. So things like the problem sets and the project, those items get emailed to me, okay? And we'll look at that in just a moment. But I wanna make you aware that the exams require that you use honor lock for proctoring. And so since you're going to be sending me materials, obviously to do this class, you need a computer with internet access because our meetings are virtual through Zoom, right? You don't have to have a scanner. If you have access to one, that's fine. You can always scan items to send to me. Or if you just have your phone camera, if you take a clear picture with your phone camera, that's fine. And then, for video purposes during class, or if you want to meet me for office hours, then you will, and for honor lock, you must have a webcam, okay? Any questions? You can look at the course learning outcomes and unit objectives all on your own. The communication and email policy. So we'll be communicating phone, Canvas, Zoom, and email, right? And so, you know, there are clear guidelines about, you know, how we should communicate with each other in a professional, respectful manner. If you call my phone number and you don't get me, please leave a voicemail, because it will come, it will get routed to me. Again, email, if you don't get a response from me in 24 hours, I didn't get your email. And then if you're having any issues with email, I'll put some links there where you can get support. Information on my schedule and Zoom. Let me just go ahead and fix this right now while my brain is on it. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. Okay. So my office hours are listed there, and connection information regarding Zoom is also available there. Okay. And I know I'm not reading every single thing there. I'm basically just trying to give you a feel for the resources that you have available. It is your job between now and next week to go ahead and get acclimated with this material. Do your own investigation. The school's academic calendar is available. It shows you, you know, all of the important dates that we have for the fall. So, you know, like when's fall break, when's the last day of class, final exams, the census date. Okay. All right. So, you know, it's good to have that handy. So that's why I made it available to you right in the course. I do use Google Drive for some items, solutions primarily for this course. You don't have to worry when you click on an item that's housed in Google Drive, it'll open up in a different window. And you don't have to have any kind of a password or anything to utilize that. Okay. All right. Netiquette, since you will be interacting with your classmates online in discussions, and also we'll be having some interactivity here during class. We want to always be respectful. So I provided you some information and guidance on, you know, how to maintain a respectful environment while we're having class. If you click on course schedule, it's going to take you back here. Again, the syllabus, the course schedule, and a to-do list for the entire course. Software policies. Okay. So these are just some policies for some of the products that I used in this course. So it's informational, right? It's not anything that you need to do regarding that. A lot of this stuff is informational, you know, admin kind of stuff, right? And then you see, I list some of the technology skills that you should be comfortable with: using email, sending email, navigating the internet, using Canvas, scanning a document if you so choose to send me assignments using that method, using Zoom, you know, and then some digital literacy skills. This is primarily for the project that you'll be doing. Again, a lot of this is informational, but I provide it so that you will have a complete picture of the information necessary for this course. Okay. Canvas and Canvas support. It happens sometimes that you need to get, you need to get help. So I provided some resources there for you. A lot of students say, well, how can I, if I'm having trouble with Canvas, how can I get to this page to get help with Canvas? This information is also in the syllabus. Okay. So I would suggest to you that you download at least and maintain an electronic copy of the syllabus, and that way you'll have access to this information. Honor lock, frequently asked questions. Okay, so it tells you, some of the common questions that are asked about honor lock. So, if you need that, it's available to you. Lola is like the registration system. In the event you need help with that, again, I just try to, let me see. Okay. Click the wrong thing there. All right. Student services. These are various support services available. Okay. Disability accommodations. If you're currently receiving those, you'll want to get me your letters as quickly as possible. They did say that they were going to be automatically routed this time, but you need to work with disability services to provide them whatever information they may be needing, so that if you're receiving that support, I can be notified, or if you want to know more about it, there's information on how you can contact them. One of the things we're focusing on in this current climate is being more inclusive. And so here is the statement that RPCC wants all students and faculty and staff to be aware of. And it basically says that we do not discriminate. We try to, we do our best to provide a welcoming and inclusive environment. A new item that we've had to add is the power-based violence statement. So again, all of this goes to create an environment where all students feel safe and there's no type of harassment of any kind going on, and what to do if you experience any of those unfortunate circumstances. FERPA deals with your privacy, and you will see that I adhere to this policy, and there's information on this in the syllabus. This is especially important where grades are concerned, and we'll take a look at that here in just a moment when I go through this, briefly go through the syllabus. Smart Notice is the college's emergency notification system. If you have not already registered with Smart Notice, please do so that in the event the campus is closed, or if there's a campus-wide emergency, you get notified. And then finally, a safety policy. This basically deals with COVID. And while that's not a concern for us, since we're meeting virtually, the college does require that we bring it to students' attention as much as possible that if you've been exposed to COVID, or you're having COVID symptoms, or have been diagnosed with COVID, please do not go to the campus. And the college will follow all state, local, and federal guidelines regarding COVID. Okay, so again, these are all of the administrative items for the course. I went through them very quickly. The idea is that you will come and invest your own time and attention to these, to this material, and send me any questions that you might be having, okay, so that I can address them for you. The other item just below course documents deals with useful links. These are all administrative tools that I provided for you. These are some websites and free items that you might find useful throughout your stay in the course. And again, you can consider them some extra study resources to help you. I've also made available to you information on the Homework Louisiana help that's available under that item that says academic help. So if you're wanting to get some type of academic support, tutoring, or whatever services they provide, just take the flyer and look them up, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you. Just below that, you see solutions. So when you do assignments for me, after I've scored them, I post the solutions, and you can see the problem set solutions link is there. Discussion session solutions link is there. Okay, so that's very useful, because when you're preparing for exams, it'd be very helpful if you had access to the solutions for the assignments that you've completed. Under useful links is where you find it. Okay, some additional help for Canvas, and then a class discussion forum. So you can just post general questions that you have regarding the class in this forum. Please do not post items of a personal nature in the class questions forum. Those items should be dealt with or addressed to me, in a more one-on-one kind of a discussion session, or email, or phone call, or Zoom, right? These are about, questions about the assignments, or, that kind of thing, just general in nature. Okay. So let me see if everybody's still there. Any questions for me so far? All right. Weekly overviews. So you can see from the weekly overviews that I've broken down each week of the course, and each topic that we'll be dealing with is listed. Okay. So for example, week one of the things I told you to do on the home page was, after you clicked around and looked at the items for the course, click on the weekly overviews and complete week one. Well, week one is your introductions. Okay. So it tells you here that these are the assignments that you have to get done by Saturday. The course information practice quiz, the syllabus signature page, the introduce yourself discussion session, the netiquette discussion session, and the online learning readiness activity. Those items need to be completed by Saturday, 11:59 p.m. And in the section about this course, it tells you that your assignments are going to be due 11:59 p.m. Most of them on a Saturday. There may be some occasion where I will have to adjust the date depending on the calendar and what we're doing, that kind of thing. But I've tried to make your assignments due on Saturdays, okay, by 11:59 p.m. And it tells you, gives you a link to the syllabus again, the syllabus signature page. Basically, you can download that and print it and sign it and send it to me. Or if you want to just copy and paste this into a Word and put your signature and the date there and send it to me. The bottom line is that I need to get a copy of that with your signature by Saturday, 11:59 p.m. Okay. And I give you information on how to submit it to me, right? So if you type it, you can save it and send it to me as an attachment. If you write out your assignments, if it's handwritten, you can scan it and save it to a file and email me the file, or you can take a picture of it and send me a picture of the file. Please make sure your name is on the actual document as well as in the subject line. Okay, so that I know who's sending it to me, what you're sending me, and please put the course number in the and section in the subject line. I'm teaching 13 classes this semester. If you don't put the class that you're in, it's going to take me that much longer to figure out who you are and to get your item graded. Okay. Acceptable file formats. Word, I prefer PDF, but Word is acceptable. Picture formats are acceptable as well. I cannot open Mac pages. And then I get a lot of students that forget to save their file before they attach it, and it comes through as an HEIC file. I cannot open those. And if you send me an assignment or item with those formats, Mac pages or HEIC, I will simply email you back saying I cannot open your item. Please resend it as an attachment using an appropriate format as listed in the assignment submission instructions. You do not upload your assignments to Canvas, okay? The only assignments that you will do in Canvas are your midterm and final, which are done via Honor Lock, okay? And discussions are posted in a discussion forum, right? I don't accept late assignments, okay, per the syllabus, right? So those are the guidelines that you have to follow when you are submitting an assignment to me, okay? And I make that available to you in every weekly overview information on how you submit your assignment, okay? And then you have links to the various things you have to get done. And then also I made some readings and viewing materials available for you, okay? So these are some resources to help you complete this week's introductions assignments, right? And if you look at the weekly overviews, every weekly overview is broken down like that. Every weekly overview has the objectives for the week, telling you what you'll be learning, the activities that you have to complete for the week, and the resources, notes, videos, materials that you'll be utilizing to complete those activities, okay? That's why I said, do not use the menu on the right to access assignments, because if you click here, all you will get access to is the assignment. You won't get access to any of the resources that you need to complete it. Same thing, if you click on this syllabus link and you use this calendar to click to assignments, you will not have access to the resources that you need to complete those assignments. You should always be completing assignments through the weekly overviews. If at any point you are using a weekly overview and something doesn't appear to be working correctly, please let me know immediately so that I can make adjustments or corrections. I try to be perfect, but I failed at that miserably many times. And I suspect that before this course is over, there'll be some things I'll need to fix. I have no issue with that. Just please point it out to me so that I can I can share that with you and the class, the updates or corrections that I'm making, okay? So again, every weekly overview, objectives, activities, reference materials or resource materials. And you can see, for example, that I have broken down the chapter that you need in the textbook here. If there's a portion of the textbook that you need to be reading for that material, it will be the first item, linked item under required readings viewings, okay? But again, if you want access to the full textbook and not a chapter by chapter version, please just in the announcements, there's a link to the full textbook, okay? All right. Any questions on the weekly overviews? All right. Moving forward. Assignments and activities. This is not the actual assignments that you have to do. Again, those are in the weekly overviews. What this does for you is describe the various assignment types that you will complete, okay? So the first thing I have there are those same assignment submission instructions. So you have it in every weekly overview as well as right here. This explains how you use HonorLock because you'll be using that to do your exams. Information on the problem sets. These are like homeworks, okay? So it tells you that these are practice opportunities. You'll do 14. I dropped the lowest 4. They're worth 10 points. The rubric is below. I will give you feedback on them 1 week, no later than 1 week after you submit it. If it's, if I can't read it, I can't score it, so it needs to be neat. You need to have your name on it, and you must show your work to get credit. Okay, credit will not be given if work is not shown. Short answers must be fully explained and all relevant parts to be addressed. Okay, and then information on how you submit if your assignment is provided in the weekly overviews. There's for every problem set that you have to turn in. Let me bring up a weekly overview with a problem set so you can see what I mean. So for example, here, problem set number 4 is due, and I have problem set submission instructions, which tell you how to turn it in, right? So every every week you have access to that same information over and over again, or if you click on assignments and activities, you have access to it there as well. Information on discussion sessions. So these are, you know, opportunities for you to interact with your classmates so that you can improve your understanding of the notes and materials that you've been exposed to. You'll do 14 of them. I dropped the lowest 4. Each discussion session is worth 5 points. The rubric is below. Again, you must give a complete and thorough explanation, and you must make every attempt to engage your classmates. You always have to respond to 2 of your classmates in every discussion, except for the very last one. And I'm very specific on that one because it's a survey. I don't want you interacting with your classmates on that one. But for every discussion, you have to give your answers in a complete and thorough way, and then respond to 2 of your classmates in a complete and thorough way. Responses like "I agree" or "I like your answer" are not sufficient. Okay. And if you do that, you will lose points. Okay. And so just below is information on how they will be graded. And I don't accept assignments late. Okay. And then even right now, you can take a look at the project information. We're gonna look at that on next week. We'll start talking about the project next week. Before we jump into the actual physical science, that'll be one thing that I'll start with you to give you some basics. Although you do have access to some video materials relating to the project already. You can even click on the midterm and final exam information. You just can't you can't access the actual exam, but you know, all of these items are there for you to take a look at. Okay. In fact, the only thing that's blocked from your view right now is the midterm and the final. You have access to every other single thing that you'll be dealing with in this class besides those 2 items. Okay. Any questions on the assignment and activities menu option or what you find there? Okay. Evaluation of student performance. This explains the grading process for you. Okay. So it tells you here that you're gonna do 10 problem sets at 10 points each. You're gonna do 14, but I'm gonna drop 4, right? So your best 10. You'll do 1 midterm. You'll have 10 discussions. Because you'll do 14, I'll drop the lowest 4, 5 points each. You'll do a course project and a final exam. So the total points possible are 450 points. You know, 450 points would be considered a perfect score, right? And then the due dates are on Canvas. Again, you have a calendar, you have a to-do list. The weekly overviews have due dates. So their dates that things are due are posted in multiple places. But again, completing assignments, I advocate that you use the weekly overviews. Okay. And then I have the grading scale. All right. So to get an A, you need at least 90%. That equates to 405 points, so on and so forth. If you are in a P-TECH program, I know for sure you have to have at least a 70% to pass this class. And so that equates to 315 points. Anything below 70, especially for P-TECH students, is not passing. I'm not quite sure about other disciplines. That's a conversation to have with your advisor. And please pay attention to the fact that I don't round. Okay. So to pass this class, you need a 60% straight up and down, at least at a minimum, right? I'm not saying that's acceptable in your program, but I'm saying to not get an F. Anything below 60% is considered an F. Okay. Incompletes. If something happens in your life and you are going to be needed an incomplete, then we can talk about that, because you know, that's a good ways down the line. There are some stipulations that have to be met in order for you to request an incomplete. But you have to let me know early enough so that we can, make sure that you're eligible. Okay. And I always tell students at any time, if you need to discuss your status in the class, please reach out to me. I cannot share grades over the phone. We can meet via Zoom, an individual Zoom session to talk about any concerns or questions you might have. If you are contacting me about grades, you must do so through your RPCC email. I would prefer if you use your RPCC email for everything regarding this class, but I understand some students don't. And there may be some situations where you will have to use your personal email. But if it's grades, we have to do it through a secure mode that protects your privacy. And so you must be using RPCC email. I'm not allowed to discuss your performance, attendance, or anything else in this course with anyone according to the FERPA policy. If you need someone else to act on your behalf, then you will have to complete paperwork through student services to so that they can notify me that you have officially designated somebody else to act on your behalf, and I can discuss your information as specified in that documentation. Okay, I always like students to know that. Okay. And then there's the grade book. Right now there aren't any grades in it, but if you want to look at your own grades, you click on the grades link. There's a link to people, so you can see who else is engaged in the class, and there may even be a way that you can reach out to them through that. I'm not real sure. Maybe if you click on the person's name, you'll have access to mail them. There's a link to the library resources, and you click and it open up in another tab. There's tutoring, that homework LA. So I made information available under useful links, but there's also a link there. The school's technology policies. So basically, this is campus-wide information on various products in terms of privacy and getting help and accessibility information. Again, that's these links that I'm covering here are the school's links. I don't provide the technology policies, but they're available from the left menu, as you can see. The online learning, this takes you to some help with Canvas. Now in the week 1, there is an online learning activity kind of tool to gauge your readiness that you have to complete. That is different from this online learning readiness. Okay, so this is kind of like if you review content and information here, this one is like, okay, this is an activity you complete, dealing with your understanding of the items here. I mean, you don't have to review that to answer, because it's really just it's kind of a questionnaire, if you will. And then the link to AutoLock, which will be important when you get ready to do exams. You click on that AutoLock link, and mine will look a little different right now because it has, I have to make the exams available, so I'll be doing that. So if you click on it right now, you aren't going to see anything. Information on Trio. Trio provides some student support for students who fall into certain categories. You can click on that link and read about the services that they provide. And then an end of course survey. I'm not even sure that the school is even using that right now, but I have it available in the event that they do. But if and when it's time to use that, I will let you know. Okay, so that's pretty much everything on the left menu. I did want to take a moment to peek at the syllabus. Of course, you're going to be doing your own review of the syllabus. But I want to just stop here just momentarily before I do that and ask, what are your questions at this point?
Okay, so I do have one question, if that's all right.
Oh, sure.
So let's just say for whatever reason, if we have to miss a class or we can't make one, are you going to be recording the Zoom sessions and posting them at a later date on the chance that we aren't able to make a class?
Yes, sir. As I mentioned earlier, I record every class session, and I make that recording available in the announcements. So if you go to the announcements in a day or so, because I have to get the video captioned, I can't post a video that doesn't have captioning. So I have to send it out to get it captioned. And then you'll see that there'll be a link under announcements. It will say class meeting videos. And then by date, every video that I record will be available there. Now, I made some other videos on the topic material available as well. So, you know, I just tell students all the time, use whatever it is you need.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I also have a question.
Yes.
So, since it's the first week and we did the discussion board, will we be penalized for using, like you said, we shouldn't use like I agree with? So will we still get points taken off, even though it's the first week and you just told us? So we redo that?
Actually, that first discussion is an introduction session, right? That's what you're referring to. Am I correct?
Correct. I like sometimes.
Yeah,
I was,
yeah.
"Oh,
So I mean,
like you're
if
excited
you're
or something."
introducing yourself, that's perfectly understandable, right? But it wouldn't be acceptable if you're engaging in a conversation regarding, you know, and a question that I've asked the student to explain regarding content that we've covered physical science wise, or if I've asked the student to ask you to solve a problem in the discussion, it wouldn't be acceptable to say, hey, I like your answer, or I agree with what you put. You have to explain that in detail. What is it that you agree with and why? Or saying I got the same answer as you is not a meaningful discussion, right? So no, I'm not penalizing you for the first discussion when you're introducing yourself. That's you know that's not the intent.
Alrighty, and I just wanted to confirm one more thing. You said earlier that if we are enrolled in your physical science lab course, we have to complete those assignments as well for that, correct? They if you complete them just on one course, it doesn't count for both, right?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. No problem. All right. So the last thing I want to do with you before we close up shop today is to take a look at the actual syllabus. Now, obviously, I'm not going to read the syllabus word for word. And what you'll see is that there's a great deal of overlap. A lot of the things that you see under course documents, especially, will be available in the syllabus. But, you know, that's just to make sure that no matter where you look, you find the information that you need, right? Again, a minute. Did I click on the wrong one here? Let's see. Bear with me just for a second. Maybe I didn't upload it. Let's see. Give me just a moment here. (1010) IS1. Oh, maybe I just forgot to upload your syllabus. Okay, but we'll be okay just to take a look at this one, and then I'll go back and upload the updated version here. All right, so so again, you see my contact information, the my office hours, and I did do it correct in the syllabus somehow. The description, prereqs, coex, all of that information on Canvas, which we took a look at. That's under course documents. Now, this information on Canvas guides is not, I don't know if I put that in the Canvas information under course documents, but you have it available here as well, here just in case you want to engage with it. Information on Lola, textbook information, honor lock. You see a lot of those, all those things about this course, communication, email policy, announcements. Again, those things are available under course documents. You know, I don't know if I posted it on the announcements, but you definitely want to make sure that you're checking the announcements on a regular basis. And I remind you of that in every weekly overview under the assignments tabs, okay? Class questions, again, that's where you can post just questions on a class in general, not anything specific. I mentioned that I use Google Drive, that's under course documents. The netiquette policy is under course documents. My emphasis, right? So there are some major things that I want you to walk away from this course, you know, from a high level perspective. Number one, of course, is to learn some physical science. Number two is to become a, you know, a strong problem solver. Number three is to see the connection between physical science and things that are happening all around you all the time. And then number four is for you to interact with your peers, right? And so to help make that a reality, there are some learning outcomes that I will be looking to see that you're able to do, okay? So number one, can you explain and apply the basic laws and principles governing the nature of matter, motion, work, energy, forms, waves, special topics in astronomy? So basically, are you learning the physical science? Use basic scientific vocabulary. Again, all of that goes to your understanding of physical science, right? Recognize and explain many physical phenomena observed in a physical environment. Again, that goes to your understanding of physical science. Goal number one. The fourth learning outcome, use the scientific method in concert with the basic laws of physics to model, analyze, interpret physical scenarios in the course material and everyday life, okay? So again, that goes to that goal number three. And then you can see, use simple math skills to solve problems, which goes to my goal number two. Now you notice I don't have an outcome that directly deals with goal four, but in every weekly overview, you will have a discussion, okay? So that's how I'm going to make sure that you network and interact with your peers. And then this is a general education course. So we directly, explicitly assess your science and information literacy capabilities. And then English and math, while that's not the direct focus of this course, of course, you have to deal with English because that's one of the languages that we're speaking. And then you have to utilize math, right? Because that's the other language that we're speaking, right? In this course. Assessment, in other words, how am I going to determine what you are able to do? So you'll do assignments, discussions, you'll do a project, take a midterm and a final. Those are all the assignments and exams and that I will use to determine how well you understand the material that's being presented in this course. And so, you know, in order for you to do well, there are some requirements. Attendance. As I said, I don't give attendance points and I don't deduct attendance points, but I always tell students, I can always tell the students that show up 5:30, ready to work and asking questions and engaging with me as I'm presenting and asking questions of the audience, because it comes through in the exams. It comes through in the exams, okay? I always tell students, you might be able to fool me on the problem sets and the discussions, but you won't fool me on that exam. And that typically is because students don't show up. They think that I can just watch the videos and I'm gonna be okay. Just like it doesn't work if you don't come to class face to face because you missed that engagement and interaction, same thing here. Nothing can substitute for you actually being here 5:30 in the afternoon on Tuesdays to, you know, engage with the class and ask your question as I'm presenting, okay? All right. Assign readings. You know, there are readings and videos in every weekly overview. So I suggest that you take advantage of those things and review those things ahead of time. You know, I'm not saying that you're necessarily trying to teach yourself everything, but what I do say to students is, even if you just glance at the material that we're going to be covering, it gives you some general idea of where we're going. Okay. I've talked about discussion sessions. Okay, again, those are the discussions that you'll complete on Canvas. Problem sets, again, those are homeworks. Course project, we'll talk about that in a little. We'll get started with that next week, talking about it. Exams, as I mentioned, and I will adjust this for you, but if I'm not mistaken, the dates are pretty much correct there. October 8th and December 3rd. Those are your dates for the midterm and the final. Yeah, I just need to go back and change the section number on this, but I think everything else is pretty much correct. But you know, as I told you, I haven't perfected everything, but fortunately I do catch some of my mistakes. And if you catch any, please don't hesitate. All right. Let's see, where did I leave off? All right. And then again, same information you see under evaluation of student performance on Canvas. Here it is again in the syllabus about the point breakdown and so on and so forth. I talked about that already. It's your responsibility to withdraw from class. I can't tell you how many times it happens that students think because they stop coming to class that I'm gonna withdraw them. I don't have that authority. As long as you're on my roster, you're gonna get a grade. If you don't want a grade from me, drop the class. And the calendar and information on Canvas can help you to know what's your deadlines for that. Cheating, I don't think I need to stress the idea that the college has an academic honesty policy, and you know, depending upon the severity, according to the handbook, you know, I have to deal with that when it happens. Okay. A disability statement, I mentioned that idea of contacting disability services if you need that support, and making sure that you get me your letter if you're currently receiving that support. And then the DEI policy, power-based violence statement, software policies, technology skills, all those things I've already covered for you under course documents. Okay. And then the final statement that I always like to cover, in the event that something happens and I have to adjust assignments or adjust the calendar, I reserve the right to do so, but I don't just do it just because. I only try to adjust things, and you know, if I have to, okay, if I have to. All right. So with that, I'll stop the share, and I'm pretty much done with my part of this. What I'd like to know before we close shop is, what are your questions?
I don't have
Okay.
any. Thank you.
No worries. If you think of something while you're reviewing the course materials or completing week 1, please don't hesitate. It is so important for you to use this week to get yourself comfortable and acclimated with the course, so that when the time comes to find the things that you need and to use them, you know exactly what you're doing. So please ask your questions. I encourage it. All right. So with that, I'm going to say, Haley, Michael, and Damien, I really appreciate you hanging around for this time frame. I know you probably could have taken the position, you know, I'll just watch the videos, but I appreciate you staying for the time that we were together this evening, and I'll see you back here next Tuesday at 5:30.
See you then.
Take care.
Thank you. See you next week.